Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to Real American Cougar. It's a whole new year. We've done very well in the last year, made a lot of friends, got a lot of followers, almost 600 subscribers. You guys are doing great. You're doing great. So everyone talks about their New Year's resolutions, and I want to say that I am not making any New Year's resolutions. None at all. I've tried it in the past. We all make resolutions and then we all just kind of like don't stick with it. We forget about it. And I think that by making New Year's resolutions, I'm kind of setting myself up to fail. I'm putting pressure on myself at the very beginning of a whole year. And then you think, well, I've got the whole year, if I don't start today, I can start tomorrow. So I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not putting the pressure on myself about New Year's resolutions. What I'm trying to do with my life, and I've thought a lot about it, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last year or so. I don't know if that's good or bad. But what I want to do, instead of making New Year's resolutions, is I want to live a life that's going to help me avoid regret. Regret is a terrible thing. If you have to live with regret every day, I know people that have been in some pretty unusual, unfortunate circumstances, and they do live with regret. And it's not their fault a lot of the time. Sometimes you feel like you've done something and you can't repair it, and so you have regret. So I want to try to live a life where I'm not going to have regret when I get to the end of my journey. So these are some of the things I'm going to try to do to live a life that doesn't cause me to have regret. And the first thing that nobody should ever do, and I won't do, is to be stuck in a job that you hate. I just can't do that. Society wants us to go out, get a job, make a bunch of money, make as much money as we can, work our ass off, and retire and live however we can. That's kind of what happens. And if you're going to have to do that, why be stuck in a job you hate? I love my profession. I've been in my profession for over 36 years. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't have been in it that long. But there's just, you go to work and there's just some places that you're irritated every day. The environment is loud. There is not a lot of teamwork going on. If you need that, there's not a lot of teamwork going on. There's drama. That is a very hard environment to work in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start a new position in a new office here after the 30th, after the end of this month, because where I'm working right now, even though I love my job and I love what I do and I love the people I work with and take care of, it's just not the right environment for me. It's too loud. There's too much drama. I have an opportunity to go somewhere else, and I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm not going to be stuck working my ass off in a job that I hate. So keep that in mind. Look for something that you feel comfortable doing. Everybody says, well, if you love what you do, if you do what you love to do, you never work a day in your life. That's wonderful, and I love what I do, but there's just times when you got to make adjustments for yourself, not everybody else, for yourself. One thing I am doing that I'm working on, and this is going to help me live a life without regret, is that I am still getting to know myself. If you never get to know yourself, you can find yourself say, like, you've seen people, they're kind of lost. They don't really have their own opinions. They don't really have their own way about them, what their favorite thing is, what they like to do. They are kind of followers. They kind of go along to get along. If somebody likes rap music, they like rap music. If somebody likes Chinese food, then they like Chinese food. If somebody feels a certain way about politics, they will gravitate toward that. So get to know yourself. Get to know what your priorities are. Get to know what you actually like so you can enjoy what you like. Get to know yourself. When I started living alone a little over a year ago, I did not know myself. I had never lived by myself and lived with myself before. So there were a lot of things that I could work on, and there were a lot of things that I found that maybe I could improve about myself, or I could just be myself. I could just let myself be myself finally for I don't know how long. When this thing happened to me over a year ago, my whole world just stopped. Everything just stopped. It was like a big void. It was like, who am I now? Where am I now? So you must make progress getting to know yourself, I feel. I feel that every day is a chance to learn something new about myself. The better I understand myself, the better I understand other people. And you just, you feel better. It's good to know yourself, especially if you have to live by yourself, and be comfortable in your own skin. It's a freeing feeling to be comfortable as yourself. Going along with that, I've learned to stay true to myself. I have learned to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish, to have my own priorities. They're mine. If somebody else wants something and my priority comes ahead of it and it's something I must do or something that I don't want to let go, then that is what I need to do. I don't have to consider what everybody else wants. I'm done considering what everybody else says. I'm staying true to myself. Get to know yourself. Get to know who you are and what you are. I know who I am and what I am. I'm a strong, mature, single woman. I'm tired of taking bullshit. That doesn't mean I'm going to have a bad attitude all the time. I want to live a life that has no regrets. So a bad attitude doesn't have a lot of room there. But I want to take more chances. I want to do things that I haven't done before. I want to stick up for my own self. I want to stick up for myself, stand up for myself. That's being true to myself. If I feel that I'm right in something, I don't want to argue about it, but, I'm still going to have that opinion that I am right. So when you feel right about something, you have every right to feel that. You have every right to know that you're right. If other people are wrong, if you can convince them, or you feel they're wrong or have a different opinion that really doesn't make a lot of sense, yeah, you can try to talk to them. It'll work sometimes, sometimes it won't. But that doesn't mean that you have to give in. That doesn't mean that you can't have your own opinion and think what you want to think. Stay true to yourself. Do the things, your routine that carries you through life. Make your routine livable. Livable for you. Easier for you. Convenient for you. Smoother for you. Stay true to yourself, because you are your reason for living, and you are your number one person in spite of who else is in your life, who else you share relationships with. You are number one. So stay true to yourself. Spend more time doing what you love to do. I love music. And when I was growing up, there was a lot of music in my life. My family was very musical. I was a church family. We did a lot of music in church. I loved music. I wanted to pursue a musical career. I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to major in music. The only problem was my parents had other ideas, and they didn't mind me going to college and majoring in music, but they wanted to pick out the person that I was going to spend my life with, and what they wanted that person to be. Well, my father was a minister. My mother was a minister's wife. They wanted me to go to college and meet a nice man who wanted to be a minister and have me be the minister's wife. And I was like, not going to happen, Ma. Sorry. Not going to happen. I've lived this life once. I'm not going to do it again. So I love music, and I kind of wished I could have went for the education. But I have learned music since. I've learned a few music instruments that I play. And I like to listen to music. I like to paint. I like to walk. I just, live in the moment. Don't worry about everything that's happening around you. We are bombarded with data every day. Bombarded on the news, on the TV, on the internet, by phone, by text, by message. There is no way that you can have hardly a moment to yourself, because all this is so accessible and in your face all the time. So you go through You're so bombarded with distractions with all this data, and I would tell you that your brain processes approximately 74 gigabytes of information in 24 hours. That's the same amount of information as watching 16 2-hour movies end to end. That is 32 hours of data in 24 hours. That's a lot. And that doesn't even consider all the autonomic processes of your brain, your pons, your brainstem that controls your breathing, your heartbeat, all the things that go on in your body as far as your bodily processes. That doesn't even include that. That's just the stimuli, the amount of stimuli that you bring in a 24-hour period. Your brain deals with a lot. So sometimes you just got to live in the moment. You got to take a moment to take a breath. You got to take more than a moment sometimes and do what you want to do. Meditate. Be in the present. Don't look forward to the future. We don't know what it is. Don't worry, because when you worry, you're not doing anything but worrying. I used to think that I was doing something when I worried, that I was actually doing something, but I figured out I'm not doing something but putting myself through a little bit of grief. So live in the moment. If you can't live one day at a time, live 1 minute at a time. Sometimes I have to live 1 minute at a time. Sometimes that's all I can handle is 1 minute at a time. But that's all right. And if you find yourself wandering off, worrying about things, looking back in your past, regretting things in your past, or feeling bad about your past, slow down, live in the moment. Okay, I'm all right. Right now I'm safe. Right now I'm okay, I'm healthy. Right now everything is okay. Everything is fine. If you need to stop and tell yourself that, stop and tell yourself that. Live in the moment. And especially when you're enjoying yourself. When you're enjoying yourself, live in the moment. Take that in. Take in every minute that you can. Enjoy every enjoyable moment that you can. At my age, I don't know how many moments I have left. I'm healthy. I'm glad of that. But my time is precious to me. Very precious to me now, more so than ever. And I just want to enjoy every moment that I can. Do hobbies. Just slow down. Go for walks. Slow down. All this information that bombards you all the time, just push it back and slow down once in a while. And just spend more time doing what calms you, doing what soothes you, and what comforts you. You deserve it. The next thing I want to do to live without regret is I want to expand my world. I want to meet all kinds of people, and I want to read and go different places. I want to travel, and I want to learn a second language. It's so easy to learn another language now. You can go online, and there's places you just about learn for practically nothing. And there's even places, if you look in your community, there's places that will sometimes teach a language if you're interested in learning. Some of the colleges have classes that you can take, different places. Some libraries, look into it, go online. But I want to learn a second language. And it would be very beneficial for me to learn Spanish in my career. And I don't know why. For 36 years, I've worked all these years, and I've never learned Spanish. I mean, I learned enough that if I am speaking with someone's trying to tell me something, and they're speaking in Spanish, they don't understand a lot of English, I can understand a lot more than I can say. I can understand what they're trying to tell me. But as far as trying to relate back to them, I have a problem. So I think that one of the things I want to accomplish, not a New Year's resolution, but something I want to accomplish, is to learn a second language. I think I'd like to learn Spanish. It will just, expand my world. If I travel to Spanish-speaking places, I'll be able to communicate with people there. It'll make it so much more enjoyable. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn a second language. Another thing to do, and I wish I would have done this a long time ago, but going forward, one thing to do to keep yourself from regret later in life is to be selective in your relationships. Oh my goodness. When you run into the wrong people, some of the worst things can happen. And you don't want what you're going through in a relationship to spill over and affect other people around you, especially if you already have children. There were times when I was bringing up my children, and I spent a lot of time at work, and I was on call, and I wasn't home a lot. And the older ones had to help take care of the younger ones, and their dad was in and out. And I feel bad that I spent so much time at work. But I had to be at work to give them what they needed. But I would have rather have been there with them. But I had to work, and I ended up with people that generally did not want to help in the financial area of a relationship. I don't make very good decisions with relationships. I think I've learned that about myself too, getting to know myself. I don't make a lot of good decisions. And you need to make good decisions in your relationships. You need to find someone that respects you. You need to find someone that wants to be a partner or is willing to work with you if you want a long-term relationship. Or if there is someone that isn't going to work with you and isn't going to have your back and you have theirs, then why? Why be with that person? Start from the very beginning being selective. Young people, be very selective in your relationships. You don't even know the half of it, of what can happen when you get in with the wrong group of people, or you meet someone that isn't the person that you think they are. Relationships are a big impact on your life, and big impact on your friends, on your family, on your children. Be more selective. And I am totally being selective. I'm very happy having my own place. I'm very happy going out and having fun, meeting people, getting together with friends, maybe dating once in a great while if I feel like it. But I am definitely happy alone right now. And somebody's going to have to be really extra special and very respectful for me to even want to get into a relationship with them. So I have learned to be very selective. And that is important. Stop taking the easy way out. I always think that, oh man, why does things have to be so hard? Why does it have to be so hard? You know what? Things are what they are. And if you have to make an effort, you have to make an effort. We're grown up. We do adulting now. We have responsibilities. Things aren't always easy. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is not the best thing to do. Taking the path of least resistance is not always the best thing to do. Most things that are worth working for are worth a lot. So I got to quit complaining and just dig in and do the work that needs to be done and try not to take the easy way out because it's not always the best way. Another thing that is going to keep me from getting regret later in life is to spend more time with the people I care about. Now, we talked about, making time for yourself, doing your hobbies, whatever, but you really need to spend more time with the people you care about. You don't know how long you have them. They don't know how long they have you. I just want people to know. I just want my friends and family that I love to always know that I love them and I'm going to love them forever. And I wish I could spend more time with my family. We're spread out. I'm up here in New York State. I have a mother in another state. I have a sister and brother down south, and they're each in different states. I have a daughter in Ohio. I have a son in Pennsylvania. 2 of my children are close in the area. But it makes it hard for me to spend time with them. And I really miss the time that I could be spending with them, but the traveling time and everybody's schedules. And our family has just kind of grown apart a little bit over the years because we're just not together anymore. And I really want to spend as much time letting my family and my friends know that I love them and care about them as much as possible, because you never know. I'm learning to let things go. I'm learning to be more forgiving. I'm learning to not be so concerned with little details that don't really matter. I'm learning to choose my battles, so I'm learning to let it go. It's so much better when you learn to let it go. If you're easily irritated over every little thing, you're not going to stay happy a lot of the time. So you got to kind of calm down and learn to let it go. Things are going to happen the way they happen. We're going to deal with things as they come anyway. Everything works out one way or the other. It works out, and we have no control over it. So if you can, let it go, it's very freeing. And forgiving people, they say that's more for you than the other person. Sometimes the other person wants to know they've been forgiven. Sometimes you still have the memory. Maybe it was unpleasant, but let it go. There's no sense to feel that and carry that burden of dislike or hatred or animosity. That's a burden to carry. And I don't want to carry it anymore, so I'm going to let it go. Take better care of your body. I used to work out. I used to walk 3 miles a day. I used to do weight interval training. I used to do body sculpting exercises. I did that up until I was about 45, 46 years old. I wanted to be very buff and very well in shape from 50 on. Well, a lot of things happened, and I quit doing that. And I wish I would have never stopped. So I am back into eating well. I am back into exercising. Like I said, do my Tai Chi exercises, and I do my walking. And I just want to take better care of myself because I want to be healthy and stay healthy so I can live the rest of my years being able to do all these things that I want to do so that I don't have regret at the very end. Take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. Live a long, happy life. And the last thing I do want to say that I think is going to help me live without regret is to give back. I have been so blessed. I have talked before about the different things that have happened in my life, and I've been down and out a few times. But I have to say that I have gotten everything back twice over of what I lost. And I have to be grateful for that. I have to have the attitude of gratitude, and I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to help somebody else that's struggling. I want to be able to be a friend if somebody needs a friend. I want to give a hug if somebody needs a hug. I want to donate if there's something happens in the community. I want to donate to causes in the community that are going to help people. If there's a catastrophe, I want to help donate to that. And we can give back in a lot of ways, not just money, time. We can volunteer for all kinds of things that are needed in our communities. Giving back gives you a greater sense of accomplishment than almost anything that you will ever do. So those are the things that I'm going to try to do. They're not New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to try to live a life that keeps me from having regret. So when my last days come, I am happy. I'm comforted in knowing that I did very well in life, the best I could, took care of myself and others, tried to live the best life I could, and just avoid regret. And I think that'll be a wonderful thing. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. And I'm glad that we're back together this year. I'm glad that we're doing well, getting new followers, getting new subscribers. Take a peek on the Real American Cougar Facebook page. See what's going on. Look for events. Hopefully we'll be having some events coming up pretty soon. We'll be having a lot of brand new topics coming up starting in the next couple weeks. So keep watching. I appreciate it. And no regrets. Peace out.